What was that? Welcome back to Knuckles FM, the channel dedicated to updating my dog on current life events going on in the world. Today's video is very special because my wife is joining me along with Rocky. Rocky, you don't be falling asleep on this. This is a very important part of history that we're going to be talking about today. Casey Anthony. If you couldn't tell by the title, my wife did not know who Casey Anthony is.
I still don't.
Which is wild, if I'm being honest, because you are 27?
Yes.
And I am 26.
Okay.
So recently, Casey Anthony went out on TikTok, made a TikTok account, and she's now a legal adversary. I think that's right. Or a legal advocate.
Advocate.
She is now trying to become a legal advocate, which is truly pissing a lot of people off, and they are very shocked on this career path that this demon decided to take. Now, I told my wife, like, hey, I'm going to make this video explaining to my pug who Casey Anthony is and why she has become the most hated TikToker in one day. But she did not know who Casey Anthony was. So now she is joining us for today's video on explaining Casey Anthony.
I was going to say you just described her as a demon, but what did she do?
She's a demon. No, I'm not going to say exactly what she did, but what do you think? What do you think she did? First off, we'll start with Rocky. Rocco, what do you think Casey Anthony did?
I know it's pretty devastating.
Yeah, it's a good guess, Rocky. All right.
Well, obviously it's something not good.
Casey Anthony, you hear that name, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
A name?
I went on TikTok, and Ray Williams Johnson, you know who that is?
No.
Ray Williams.
So this woman just...
He's a pretty good TikToker.
I think I've seen a couple of his videos.
He honestly has the best breakdown of the whole Casey Anthony case. So we're going to give it a listen, and then you're going to learn the whole story of Casey Anthony in the span, I think, of like 4 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
So her name's Casey, and Casey is unemployed, living in Florida with her parents, and one day in 2005...
She would be unemployed.
I mean, this is how these start.
Life drops a bomb on her. She's pregnant. Now, why is this a problem for Casey? Well, not only is she unemployed, but she's also only 19 years old. She ain't ready for all this. So she decides, I'll just give the baby up for adoption. But Casey's mom, who we'll just call Casey's mom says absolutely not. So Casey has the baby, and she keeps her. And the baby's name is Baby Kaylee. So now, Casey and baby Kaylee live at home with Casey's parents. But here's where we run into problems. According to Casey's friends, Casey is a little jealous that all her friends get to be normal 19-year-olds and get to go out and party and stuff, while Casey is stuck at home taking care of a baby. So...
Thoughts on that so far?
I didn't know she was 19.
Yeah, she was 19 when she had old baby Kaylee.
And she's an adult, so it would have been her decision to give the baby up for adoption. So I don't know why she got influenced by her mom. And Rocky does not like this conversation.
No, he apparently does not. But yeah, no, it's a very interesting dynamic there that the mom was like,
absolutely not. You have to keep it.
You're
I'm 19.
having the baby. Which, I guess, yeah, morally.
But give it up for adoption like she wanted to.
Yeah, no, exactly. That part, okay, this is on the family now. But all right. But 100%, I mean, I don't know. I guess adoption would have been a better option.
Yeah.
At this point.
Then over the next few years, Casey starts lying to her parents about having a job. She'll tell them, I gotta go to work. And her mom will watch baby Kaylee while Casey leaves and goes off to party with her friends. These are actually some pictures of her partying. There's another picture of her partying. You get the idea. And to keep up the lie to her parents that she has a job, she starts stealing from people, from her friends, from her family. She's taking money from her mom's purse. She's forging checks, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Plus,
How does the mom not notice that money's gone?
I don't know, honest. For how much I look at my bank account and get depressed, I don't know how you could steal money from me, because I'd be like, hold on a minute. I know for a fact I didn't spend it on that, or I didn't take that much out.
Or like, no, like she steals money from her purse, not like a card. It's cash.
Well, she was also forging checks. Is that what it was?
They didn't say that.
She's forging checks, all kinds of stuff.
I only paid attention to the stealing money out of her purse.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, she's 100% getting whatever she wants, which comes down to, I don't know. That's wild at this point. So she's lying, stealing at, I guess it would be 22, 23 age group, because it was a couple years after the baby.
Was it?
I mean, they said a few years later. They never said exactly.
Oh.
But no, so far, it seems like a real piece of shit, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
She keeps making up lies to get other people to babysit for her. I mean, she clearly no longer wants to be a parent. And eventually, she unfortunately gets her wish. Because it's now 2008. And one day, Casey tells her parents she's going on some work trip and that she's going to leave baby Kaylee with a nanny. And this all seems pretty normal behavior from her at the time. But then, Casey suddenly just disappears. Like she doesn't come home, and her parents haven't seen her in a while. And they start to get a really bad feeling that something terrible happened. Then a month goes by, and Casey's parents get a letter saying the car Casey had been driving was impounded. So Casey's dad, who we'll just call Casey's dad, her dad goes to pick it up. And when he gets to the impound lot, something immediately is very wrong. Because there's a really strong odor coming from the trunk of the car. And there's...
With that being said, what do you think so far? Rocky, we'll start with you. Rocky, what do you think was in that trunk?
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
That's a really good guess, my boy. All right. What do you think so far? She went missing. Car got impounded. Still haven't heard from them yet. And
Okay, well, I'm going to assume it's her kid. But I also don't understand how she got her kid if she left with a nanny unless she didn't tell anyone she came home to pick up the kid.
you're about to learn.
You know?
You're going to learn.
That's what I'm confused about.
100%. No, it'll definitely make itself clear here in a second, but let's just continue so we can clear this confusion for you.
Okay.
nothing of importance in the trunk right now, but it smells like there had been a body in there. Now, at some point during all this, Casey finally comes home, and baby Kaylee is not with her. And that is when Casey's mom freaks out and calls the police.
My daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. She just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
And so police...
That's pretty wild, is it not?
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty sad, to be honest. But it's just the simple fact of, like...
I'm glad the mom was like, fuck you, Casey. I'm going to call the police on you.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. It was like, hey, yo! Obviously, she cares more about her granddaughter at the moment. I mean, granted, she seems
she
like
made
a good...
her have the child.
She
so.
seems like a good parent. She's looking out for her child. But also, it's like, hey, where's my grandchild?
Police bring Casey in and they question her, and she tells them, oh, I left Kaylee with a babysitter, and the babysitter must have taken her. Her name is, Zanny the Nanny. And police are like,
Bruh.
Zanny the Nanny.
The fuck?
Yeah, bro. Zanny
Come up with a better fucking name.
Yeah, Zanny the Nanny took her child.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
missing for 31 days? Why didn't you call us? And she tells them, oh, I've been doing my own research. And so they ask her where Zanny the Nanny lives. And Casey takes them to an apartment building and points at an apartment and is like, she lives there in that apartment. But when police look in the windows, the apartment is completely empty. Currently empty, but no one had lived there for 5 months. And no one by the name of Zanny the Nanny had ever lived there. Because...
Obviously.
So, Rocky, what do you think? Rocky, what do you think happened? Yes, true. All right, so clearly Zanny the nanny is made up.
Obviously.
Oh, my goodness.
Because Casey never even had a nanny. She lied.
Whoa.
And so,
Oh my God.
But the story's not over, because we got to get to why TikTok hates her so much. So anyway, this story immediately blows the up. Like, it's dominating the news, not just in Florida, but nationwide. Every news outlet is talking about it. People want to know what happened to baby Kaylee. And so thousands of volunteers from all around form search teams to go out looking for her. But unfortunately, they don't find anything. Now, here's what's really crazy. We know that Casey had disappeared for a whole ass month. So there's a month of time in her life unaccounted for. And what did Casey do during that month she went off the grid? Well, that's where it gets interesting. Because at one point, before baby Kaylee goes missing, someone at Casey's house, we don't technically know who, but someone uses the home computer to search for very specific terms like chloroform and neck breaking. Then, 2 days after baby Kaylee had gone missing, Casey asks her neighbor if she can borrow a shovel. She also at one
She's not slick.
No, she's
She's
actually
stupid.
She's actually pretty dumb.
point steals a checkbook from one of her friends and she goes shopping. Now keep in mind, her baby is gone. According to her, baby Kaylee had just been stolen by her nanny, and Casey uses this time to steal a checkbook and go shopping?
What's going on? What are you thinking?
Well, clearly she thinks that she can get away with anything, and she's sadly mistaken.
Yeah, so she's pretty dumb.
Borrow
Not
your
only that,
shovel.
but she's also
Yeah, the whole borrowing the shovel is actually hilarious. All right.
hanging out with her boyfriend every night, and she never mentions to him that her baby was just stolen by a nanny or say that anything had happened to her daughter. She doesn't seem worried or sad at all. In fact, quite the opposite. She's going out to bars and clubs with her friends, drinking and partying. At one point, she enters a hot body contest. She goes and gets a new tattoo. Like your 2-year-old kid is missing and you haven't told anyone, not even your parents, and you're out partying and getting new tattoos? Like it's no wonder the internet's mad at you. And so this tomfoolery goes on for about 31 days before she finally returns back home to her parents' house. And that's where we saw her mom call the police. And that phone call from her mom, that was the first time the police had been notified that baby Kaylee was missing. So, like, it's just a little suspicious, right? Oh, but it gets
little?
worse.
No,
From
little.
there,
Just a
police
little.
investigate, and they look at her car, and the trunk of her car tests positive for chloroform and human decomposition.
Wow.
I mean, there's just so much, I guess, technically coincidental.
Kind of wild. It matches the Google search, which did you also hear how they said they don't know who Google searched it?
Yeah, but it was at her house.
It was at her house, but nobody knows exactly who Google searched it. Just keep that in mind.
She's going to say, oh, it wasn't me. It was this person that searched that.
Yeah, just keep that in mind.
Evidence that some foul play went on. But yet, despite that, Casey still insists that baby Kaylee is probably still alive somewhere out there. She's just missing. And so people continue to look for her. But then,
She's alive somewhere.
several
She's
months
fine.
later, they get some inevitable news. One day, a utility worker is out in a wooded area a little less than a mile from Casey's parents' house, and he comes across a bag.
Hang on a minute. I think my dog is...
Rocky,
Stay awake. This is very important history you're learning.
you're slouching real bad. Fix your posture. I can't say anything. My posture's shit.
All right.
And that bag, sadly, has Kaylee inside. And
Oh,
she has
God.
duct tape over her mouth, meaning she had been murdered. And so then fast forward a few years. It's now 2011. And this whole thing goes to trial, with Casey being accused of murder. And of course, she pleads not guilty.
Oh, God.
And her lawyer
Yeah. You know, I mean, she didn't do it.
actually ends up being a pretty good lawyer. And he argues that Kaylee was never kidnapped, that the day she allegedly went missing, she actually accidentally drowned in the family pool, and that Casey's dad
What? What?
Yes. All right.
I guess he didn't want to look neglectful, so he covered it up and made it look like someone kidnapped her? And she later makes a very different argument, but in court, that's what Casey's lawyer argues. So, believe what you want. Anyway, so eventually...
Stupid ass lawyer.
No, I mean, what do you mean?
The lawyer's dumb.
lawyer?
Yes.
Well, hang on. Let's get to this and then.
The jury deliberates and they come to a decision, and keep in mind 40 million people are watching this verdict live on TV. And so the jury comes out and they read the verdict and they find Casey not guilty. And of course, people are
What?
Yeah! Not guilty. Which, going back to your lawyer thing, the lawyer is, he was a really good lawyer compared to the other defendant. Or what would it be, the prosecutor?
The defendant.
No, they're the defender. They're
the
defending their
prosecutor.
case. So the prosecutor. Yeah, no, I think they were just a really bad fucking prosecutor. But yeah, no, it pretty much, the story then flipped to where, like...
Was there an autopsy?
I'm sure they'll get into it, but...
Yeah, if there was an autopsy, it would have showed that she drowned.
Apparently it did or something. Because there was no stabs or neck broken or nothing. It was just suffocation. Because the tape over the mouth.
Yeah, if she drowned, she wouldn't have had duct tape on her mouth.
Hey? But yeah.
I think the jurors just wanted to get out of there.
So yeah, that is the story of Casey Anthony.
Why would... So if the dad allegedly covered it up,
Yeah.
why would his wife tell
What, whose wife? His wife?
his wife? So because the grandma called the police.
Yeah. Okay. So the one of the things was either like she basically killed her and then the dad helped cover it up.
Mm.
Pretty wild.
Okay, Cooper.
What?
Scrappy just turned 2.
Yeah.
Can you imagine killing your 2-year-old?
No. Absolutely not. I'm not a monster. There's something there. I don't really think no one exactly knows what happened yet, because she came out with a documentary herself. Like, she made a documentary about it.
Mm.
And posted it on Hulu, and everyone lost their mind on her again, like, you dumb bitch. But yeah,
I mean, we know she's not smart.
no, she is.
She's actually stupid.
She's actually, I
Like,
believe,
her IQ should be 0.
She is currently, I believe, dating somebody who was in a 20-year marriage with a couple kids.
Stupid.
So pretty much it writes itself. So there you have it. My wife and my dog just learned who Casey Anthony is and why the world hates her. With that being said, we're going to end the video there. We hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe, because every Friday we were doing a live stream to where it's kind of like a podcast in a way. It's like a news. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened this week and whatnot. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Hey, baby.